Another week, another bunch of video games. I went to, of course, Nagoya and Yokohama and Tokyo, so there was a bit of game buying going on from a lot of various systems, actually. But the first I'll start with is 3 movies. Now I have the Hard Trilogy. Ho, ho, ho. Although I did already have it before, actually, but these are much nicer looking than the box of 3 that I got before. So that's my reason for buying them. Honestly, the one for Die Hard 1 and 2, actually I do pretty much already have in Sweden. They look pretty much the same. The only problem is that they're not shiny like this one. I know that's really bad motivation for buying something, but they're really shiny, nice, and it's the same region as Sweden anyway. And I also got Die Hard 3, so now it's like a perfect set. So next up is also kind of a set. It's PlayStation, and it's Tekken 1, it's Tekken 2 and 3. 180 yen each. Tekken 3 is a really good one. That I remember haven't played like Tekken. So Tekken Tag Tournament is pretty much also Tekken 3, but with the addition of Tag, which is really nice. Although there's still a reason to play Tekken 3 because Tekken 3 has Tekken Ball and Tekken Force, and I haven't played those in a really long time. So looking forward to that one. Oh, and Tekken 2 is, I have another reason for getting other than just semi-collecting stuff. It's, I can play Tekken 1, 2, and 3 on Tekken 5 because it has the arcade history thing. But Tekken 1 and 2 on there, the jump kick is all fucked up because instead of just jump kicking, they just do this moon kick, and it's like impossible to hit anything with. But I don't remember it being like that when I played the home version on Tekken 2 way back in like 7th grade at a friend's house. So, and Tekken 2 was the first Tekken game I played, so it's very nostalgic. So I'm gonna look and see if the jump kick is still fucked or not. Moving up to PlayStation 2 with a 200 something yen game, it's Maximo by Capcom. Maximo is pretty much Ghosts and Goblins on PlayStation 2 for the new generation or something. I don't think it's quite that difficult, but it's a little interesting just because it's, you know, pretty much Ghosts and Goblins. I have never played it, barely seen a video about it, so fresh perspective on that one. Next one for PlayStation 2 is Katamari Damacy, aka Katamari Damacy, which I didn't know that's the title. It's Katamari Tamashi, which means when it's two kanjis like this, it's the T because of these usually, so it's Katamari Damashi, but the English title just changed it to Damasi or Damacy or whatever, as if it was its own word, which I don't think it is. I don't know, but I've never played this game. It was a hit, sleeper hit back when. It's pretty much just about this guy rolling stuff up that attaches to like this Velcro ball, and then you just roll over stuff, pick it up, and roll some more. It's honestly not been that appealing to me because it's like, okay, so you roll stuff. What else? Kind of like Minecraft, you build stuff, but then what? But on the other hand, I never played it, so it could be good. Game Boy / Game Boy Color. Dragon Quest 1 and 2. I wanted to get... Pretty much I've been wanting to try Dragon Quest, the series, or Dragon Warrior for many years now, because it's like... I've played a bunch of Final Fantasy games, but I never tried its main competitor that's actually more popular in Japan. Although I never decided like where's a good place to start, because I wanted to play stuff from the beginning. Like at one point I wanted to play the DS remake of Dragon Quest 4 first, but it's like back and forth. There's Dragon Quest 7 on PlayStation. There's this and that. I actually did have this one once before, the English version, when I was collecting Game Boy stuff, but I got rid of it, and then yeah, we'll see if I have the patience to try this, but. I want to make an effort because like Dragon Quest, it has to be good, right? I mean, it's like more popular here than Final Fantasy, and I love Final Fantasy 1 through 10, so right? More Game Boy and kind of another set, Wario Land 2 and 3. For some reason, like the main Mario and Wario platformers are really, and Kirby are really cheap in Japan. They're like 200 to 500 yen or something. So Wario Land 1 and 2. I love the first one. I don't I haven't played this a little bit in the emulator, and they seem just fine, because it does, instead of having like a proper life bar-y thing and being hit and dying like a proper game, instead they have this thing how you just get hurt for a little while and then you recover. And the games are not really so much about beating a stage with movement, reflexes, and all that stuff, but it's more like about finding secrets and collecting pieces of and gold and blah blah, which is not as appealing to me. But on the other hand, like, I haven't played them enough to make a judgment, and it's a Nintendo platformer. Like, there has to be something in there to like. So it's like, they're that cheap, why not? Game Boy Advance, 2 games. First, Kururin, which is somewhat, it was like 100 yen again. A little nostalgic for me in a way, because I actually played this game before. It was when it was new in like 2001, when the Game Boy Advance was new, back in Sweden actually. It was this demo unit thing, and it had this game. And it's just about spinning a spinning stick thing, guiding it through a maze without hitting the walls. So it's kind of like that game, Irritating Stick, a little bit, but better. I don't know. But it has, of course, they had to add some kind of story to it. So it has this character jumping into like a spaceship that then turns into this stick. So yeah, it's kind of like Arkanoid in that way. Just they needed an excuse to have like a paddle bouncing a ball, so they invented the spaceship thing. Vaus, and here they have this animal pilot thing piloting this thing. But it's a pretty good game. Next is a game that is definitely good. It's Kirbys Nightmare in Dreamland, or it's called here Hoshinokabi Yume no Izumi Deluxe, aka Yume no Izumi is Yume no Izumi no Monogatari, which is Kirbys Adventure, and this is Kirbys Adventure Deluxe, pretty much. Which means, yeah, it's a remake of Kirbys Adventure, the NES game. And I say remake, but it feels different somehow. So it's kind of like just playing a new Kirby game, really. And it has multiplayer, even though I won't be using it because you have to link and everything. But it's Kirby. What's not to like? One game for Sega Mega Drive. It's this one. Magikaru Hatto no Buttopi Tabo Daiboken. Basically, it's Decap Attack, the Japanese version, which is made by the same company that made Psycho Fox and Kid Cool, which are 2 pretty damn awful games, but this one's better. Decap Attack is quite a bit better than those. And this one has, instead of getting Decap Attack, this one has like more the light-hearted type of Japanese game art style, which appeals to me a little bit more. And yeah, I still don't have a Mega Drive here to actually play this one with, but I think it will be good. Moving up to the mainstays of my game buying, Famicom. 2 Famicom games and then 3 Super Famicom games. First of the Famicom games is Ducktales 2. Ducktales 2. I'm actually not that big of a fan of the original Ducktales game. I think it's overrated. It's, you know, jumping on enemies, jumping on the cane. Like, that would be great if it was just a tool among other things. But since it's pretty much your main thing, it gets a little redundant. But Ducktales 2 is, and it's pretty much just more of the same. But I don't dislike Ducktales either, so I kind of got it because it's on the list, sort of, and it's a platform game, and it's like the allure of getting it because it's slightly more rare, and so I'm not entirely on the other. I've flirted with the idea several times of selling the regular Ducktales, but I've never done it because it's Ducktales, like it belongs in my video game collection, right? But I don't love the game. Maybe this one is better though, but yeah, it's still Ducktales. It's still good. It's just not that great as everyone thinks it is. But this might be good. Next, a game that I tried on emulator years ago and then gave up on, and then decided to get again. It's Banana no Oji Daiboken, or Banana Prince Adventure. It actually got released in Germany for the NES, believe it or not. It's a platformer collecting bananas and rings and stuff, so pretty much just your run-of-the-mill platformer. But why I passed on it before is that it has quizzes, and of course quizzes are in Japanese, So I figured like I can't play it if it has Japanese quizzes. But now that I know more, I reopened to the idea, and it's still not as bad as like Wario Land or Yonoid / Hanamaru. Even though Hanamaru, that's well, I'm thinking of games that have, instead of boss fights, they have these weird, dumbass things like Keropi 2 and Paman and Misc Ninja Hanamaru and also the Wario Land games. Instead of real boss fights, they just have these mini games. And in Hanamaru, it's like a stupid dice rolling type thing. In Paman, it's like a board game, but it's all, and Keropi 2 also, but it's super random. So it's like usually the boss wins, and there's no way to influence it. You just like you get to the end of a level, then you roll flip a coin, and if it lands heads, you beat the level. I mean, that's stupid. In Wario Land, however, it's like Japanese memory card games and Japanese wordplay and like stuff that's even for Japanese people is not that easy. So those are just impossible. But this is at least, I don't remember them being timed either, so I think it will be okay now. Super Famicom. First, a game that I haven't played before. A lot of people in America like it, and it was only 100 yen, so NBA Jam. I've barely ever played any basketball games in my life, actually. I played the minigame in the Flintstones game, and I played, 6 months ago, I played NBA 2K18 or something with my housey, the guy who also rented a room in the apartment that I used to live in. And it was okay, I guess, but I didn't play, just never into basketball. But this one has a really good reputation. I was really, with 100 yen, it's like there's no reason not to try it. So then a game I've been looking for a while, it's XMen, aka XMen Children of the Atom, I think, which is a platformer / beat 'em up by Capcom with great graphics. Not sure if the gameplay's great or not, but I actually haven't really played it, but I want it anyway because it's a platform, it's by Capcom, it's got great graphics. It has to be good, right? I'm gonna see if it is. Finally, on the games front is a game that I looked up on Hard Off Net Mall and went to the in Saitama to the where it was. I've seen it before in Osaka at a game shop for 7,500 yen or something. Here was for only 4,000. It's not in bad condition or anything. It's Poquelin Adventure, actually, not Daiboken as it usually is. It's this mascotty thing that's apparently popular in Japan, and it had a Super Famicom game, and this is it. It's a platformer starring this raccoon, and it looks cute and it looks fun. And I remember trying it in emulator for 2 minutes or something, but so I'm going in sort of blind, but it looks like a quality game. Lastly, two things. One is a really small thing, and it's this. It's a small keychainy type thing of Mega Man. Actually, this is one of those that came from... It was sold separately at the Mandarake in Nakano. But it's one of those things that's sold in gacha, actually. The one I got a few weeks ago, or whatever it was. I tried twice. Basically, this was what I was aiming for, but I got the Metul and Eddie instead. But now I could, buy it separately for the same price as the gacha ball, ironically. But yes, this is cool. The only problem is, I don't know, this is one of those chainy things. There's no, clear opening if it's not this little bit. So I don't really know how to attach it to anything yet. I have to ask someone, but still, it's cool. No, that's Mario. And finally, a strategy guide. It's for Popful Mail, a game that I have on Super Famicom back in Sweden. It's an action RPG platformer with a bunch of RPG elements. Looks like a good one, but it looks like one of those that I need a guide on, and this is a guide. Although, of course, GameFAQs exists and with English and everything, but You know, I like a good Japanese challenge, even though I like never ever make it through one of these things. Cool, and it wasn't that too expensive either, because these the guidebooks, they never, for some reason, they're never in book-offs, even though they have a section of guidebooks. They never had the old guidebooks for some reason. When you do find them, they're in like Super Potato or something, and they're always like 1,500 to 5,000 yen. There's ones that cost 10,000. I have no idea why exactly. Well, I do know why, but this one I don't remember what the price was, but it was not that expensive. One that I would love to find is Cyborg 009, because that's an interesting game, and I would actually like to know about it, but I can't really find any walkthroughs anywhere and any detailed reviews. So I want to make a Famicom video on that one day when I know more about it. So that was everything from 3 different cities. I'm not going to say any again about not buying anything next week, so we'll just see how it goes. But for this week, this was a good haul.